What's up, tribe? Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Hold on. Let me get ready to get into this. Let me put my decoration up. That ain't my decoration. Where's my decoration? That's Halloween. Where's my Thanksgiving? Oh, man, I must have accidentally deleted Thanksgiving. Oh, man. Oh, well, I'll find it again. I'll put it up and find it again. Let's get into it. So we have 3 hours of the Braxtons to get through. The good thing is it ain't gonna take us long because some of it it just ain't gonna take us long. But let's go ahead and get into it. Dang, I'm mad. How did I do that? How did I delete the wrong overlay? Oh well. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. So let me just start with last week's episode. Now let me ask a question. I need to know WeTV. I need to understand why y'all did what y'all did yesterday or Friday. Why did y'all combine the last 2 episodes? What were y'all trying to hurry up and get this season over with? Because y'all had momentum. Like, I mean, y'all had momentum for all the wrong reasons, but y'all had momentum. I mean, this season, the internet was in tune, the bloggers, the vloggers, the TikTokers, like everybody was clipping it, reviewing it, breaking it down. Every episode, people were here for it. They were tuned in. I do not understand why y'all decided to combine those 2 episodes. It seemed to me like y'all should have wanted to stretch it out and get one more week of ratings and advertisement and stuff like that. Because even though the only thing I could think of is 2 things. Either A, y'all realized that episode about Tawanda's wedding, based on how the season went, people really weren't going to tune in for Tawanda's wedding. And so maybe you decided to just link it together. Or B, y'all had already decided to do a 2-hour finale, but you didn't even advertise it like that. Like, y'all didn't even say the 2-hour finale, like, y'all didn't even advertise it that way. So I don't know. It was weird. It weird. Danny said it sounds like it doesn't need to come back. And I'm being honest, it doesn't. It doesn't need to come back. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I was going to save it for the end, but, I'm going to go ahead and say it now because I might forget to say it at the end. No one is when I say no one, I'm generally speaking, y'all. So everybody don't have to drop down and like, I care. But generally speaking, no one is vested in Trina and Tawanda. And Trina and Tawanda, honestly, are the only 2 that are willing. Hey, Busy Boo. I meant to call you this week, too. I had something to talk to you about this week. No one is vested in a Tawanda Trina story. And they're the only 2 that are really willing to give us all of their business. Toni ain't going to give us her business. Toni will give us the business side of her business, but she's not going to give us the personal. And Tamar, 2 things with Tamar. 1, Tamar gives us too much. And 2, Tamar could carry a show by herself. She doesn't need her sisters. So if Tamar ever decided to come back to reality TV, she could come back on her own accord and make all of the money instead of having to split it up. So in all reality, they really don't need to come back because who is really vested in it at this point? I'm just being honest. But moving right along. So last week's episode was getting ready for the wedding. In all reality, we did not see Tamar except for her talking to other people about wanting to resolve the issue with her sisters. We saw her talking to, I guess he was a producer, and basically saying, look, I feel like my sisters just don't like me. And, things did go too far and I do want to resolve it, but I just don't think they want to. I don't think they want to resolve it. And so we also saw her talking to, I guess it's like a life coach that she's been working with or a therapist. And she, basically having that same conversation about wanting to resolve it, wanting to talk to them, but not really feeling like they want to talk to her, right? So that's pretty much the Tamar of it all from last week's episode. We saw the pre-wedding stuff. So we saw Tawana got her cast off, so good for her. We saw that Tawanda and Tawanda and Sean set Miss Braxton up, Mama Braxton up on a date with a friend of his so that she would have a date for the wedding. I thought that scene was really cute. They took him out to dinner and then they pulled the bait and switch okie doke. And, I thought that was cute. I thought that was cute. We see Vaughn and Trina still struggling with his illness. And I told you guys that this whole storyline with Vaughn is sort of a trigger for me because of my brother. And I told y'all that whole story. Y'all just have to go back and find that. I think it was the last review where I went through the whole thing with my brother. But it's just very... It's very frustrating to see people who don't take their health seriously for all the wrong reasons. Like, Trina was like, she was upset because when they went to the doctor, he wanted her to leave the room so he could talk to the doctor alone. And I understood her being frustrated, but I also understood him. I mean, just because y'all are married doesn't mean you need to hear everything. Like, he may want to have a one-on-one conversation with the doctor that doesn't include you. And at that part, I'm like, look, it doesn't include you, But then the flip side of it is, I'm sorry. But then the flip side of it is, I'm your wife and I need to know these things. So basically he was like, look, I asked the doctor, am I going to die? But here's the thing, Vaughn. Yeah, you're going to die if you don't listen to the doctor. Well, sooner rather than later, because we all going to die. But if you're not listening to the doctor and the doctor is telling you to do certain things and your wife's trying to make you eat a certain way and cook and eat better and cook a certain way, like, don't tell me you care on one end and you don't care on the other end, or you don't care enough. Let me say that. You don't care enough to put it. It's all hard, right? When we're used to eating, myself included, when we're used to eating what we want to eat, when we want to eat, how we want to eat, and doing the things we want to do, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how, it is absolutely a hard thing. If we had self-control, we wouldn't be in the damn situation that we're in. But don't get mad at the people that are trying to help you get there. And Trina was talking to Tony. They had this cute scene where Trina was taking Tony shopping for her little cubicle. Baby, she said, Tony's taking me shopping to decorate my office. Girl, you have a cubicle. You have enough room for you and one other person to sit down and have a conversation with a little bit of privacy, because you are in a cubicle. Girl, you don't have no door. But it was a cute little scene, but she basically let it be known, like, Vaughn is scared because that's how his mother died. Oh, I'm so sorry, Danielle. The production was over. There was nothing to produce. I'm with, and that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe that's why they just were like, let's get this shit over with. I don't know, but I just feel like they could have drug another week out of this if they wanted. I mean, the name of the game is getting ratings, and getting the higher your ratings, the better, the more you can charge for advertisement. That's how shows make money. And I truly believe if they had advertised the finale and they had really built up this finale, I feel like they could have gotten another week out of this with some decent ratings. And but listen, who the hell am I? I'm on the other side. And again, I'm clearly not in the room, so I don't know what conversations were had. I don't know. But anyway, so what else happened in last week's episode? I know I'm kind of all over the place, but last week's episode was just shock. Oh no, that's next. This is it. Setup, Vaughn illness, Tamar wants to meet, wedding, Van. Okay. Faison. So she, we saw this whole scene with her showing Trina showing Faison love a house. It was a cute scene. We don't know whether Faison actually bought that damn house or not, but it was a cute scene. Again, I thought, here's the reality of the situation. When we talk about reality, we've had this conversation before, you guys. When we talk about reality TV and these feel-good family reality shows, which we know don't do as well in the ratings, but they are great family reality TV. Trina, Tawanda, Miss Evelyn, the kids, maybe even if they're willing to film, could give us that, right? Trina finding a new career, dissolate in life, wanting to build on that, becoming a real estate agent, building her business. That would be a great show. Seeing her show houses to these celebrities, whether they buy them or not. We've seen this show before in Bravo with the celebrity listings and stuff, but I think it could be a cute spin. The problem though is y'all have laid the foundation of dysfunction. So I don't think y'all could switch to a wholesome family show without people expecting the mess from y'all. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. When Tracy was still here, y'all could have had Tracy showing her everyday life with her family and her child and her grandchild and doing the things that they did in their day-to-day life. And you could have done that as a family show. But again, y'all have laid the foundation for toxic. And I just don't think people are, at this point, I don't think people are going to tune in to see Trina sell a house or Tawanda be a newlywed or Miss Evelyn dating. I mean, we've been there, seen that too. Logan. I mean, maybe Tamar would allow Logan to film, and Logan and his grandmother have a great relationship. We've seen them on social media, how they get along and they cook. And we know Logan is an aspiring chef. He can get that boy can cook. Excuse me. The foundation of something like that is there. But again, the problem is you've given us the toxic, and it's hard. It's kind of like you can't put the car in reverse. It's hard to put that car in reverse. But anyway, so that was a cute scene. I thought it was cute. Then we saw Toni, and both of her sons were graduating. One was graduating from the Fashion Institute out in LA, and the other one was graduating from Howard. I thought that was a really, really, again, we got to see her. And I thought we saw a genuine Toni be excited for her sons. Right. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Right. Not in this situation, in my opinion. And especially after this season, a lot of people who probably, like for me personally, I never really had no beef with Tawanda. I mean, I didn't think Tawanda was perfect. I saw some shit with Tawanda. But after this season, I really would not want to watch a season of Tawanda. That's just me. I wouldn't be interested in it. But either way, so we saw Toni, like I said, we saw Toni go both of the graduations. I thought it was really cute that and then after the graduation, we saw her gifting her son a Maybach. It was cute the way she did it. They came back home from the graduation. Somebody was in his parking spot, which I thought was interesting because here are my two questions. Well, I have a couple of questions, but question number one, what does Diesel, because her oldest son, that's Diesel, Denim and Diesel. The oldest one. I think the oldest one is Denim, and then the second one is Diesel. So Denim has been diagnosed as autistic. So it was definitely an accomplishment that he graduated from college. My question though is, does he live alone? I mean, does he have his own apartment? Because y'all were at an apartment building where there's like parking spaces. So were y'all pulling back up to his apartment? Does he live there? Or does Toni nowadays live in a condo? Because let's be clear, if you have a house, you don't have assigned parking at a house. So I'm wondering if he has his own place and they were pulling up into his own apartment. But that was either way, great for her. Now, all I want to say is this. I ain't mad at you for buying your son a Maybach. I don't care where the money came from. Don't care. I mean, I care, but I'm saying like Toni's working. I just don't want to hear nothing about you 2-3 years from now having money problems. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying to Toni Braxton. But that ain't my business. Okay, moving right along. The other thing I thought about in this moment was, now we don't know the validity. Denim is The oldest, Diesel, is the one with autism. Oh, Diesel is the one with autism. My bad. So, but either okay. So Diesel's the one I just graduated from Howard. Same thing though. A great accomplishment, you know. But okay. But thank you for clearing that up. Thank you. Oh yeah, those vehicles are leased most of the time. And that vehicle is probably leased, but still, the lease is still probably 3 times what my mortgage is. You know what I'm saying? It's still probably ridiculous. Here are my 2 questions about that. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that I can't share these moments with. Like, if I wanted to go to life moments alone, I can be alone. Now, I don't know what the deal is between her and Birdman in all reality. Like, I don't know the reality of their relationship. I mean, we know what we've heard, what we've seen, whatever. We heard that they're married. Tony wouldn't talk about it on camera, so we really don't know more than what we know that Tamar say that's her husband, and I believe Tamar. But we saw her attend both of those graduations without her husband. And I know that some people might say, well, that's their relationship. I'm talking about me. Tony is clearly okay with it, but I am talking about me. I personally would not want to be in a relationship and then not have somebody to share these life moments with. She went to the wedding without him. She went to the graduations without him. Well, so here's what I'm going to say about that. Dom says he may have been there not wanting to be filmed. I doubt it. And I'm going to tell you why. Tony's when Tony went to the Howard graduation, it was all over the blogs. If Birdman was there would have been pictures. Now, I can't speak for the graduation from the Fashion Institute because I don't remember that being in the blogs. But the Howard graduation was all in the blogs. You know, because it was Howard and it was Toni Braxton, and she was dressed very inappropriately, in my opinion, for her child's graduation. But we didn't see him. Now, the wedding, good and damn well they just showed Birdman at that damn wedding. What's up, Lexi? Hey, boo. Y'all know damn well. So, yeah, again, that's just me. Again, I can only speak for me. It's just me. I saw that she found out that he had the fit 2 weeks into the marriage. Oh, okay. I'm not. Okay. Yeah. So I think that was all of that episode. We started getting into the rehearsal dinner of it all. We saw that the daddy was there, that, their daddy showed up. I don't know why Tawanda blurred out. She had on a Navy Mom sweatshirt and they blurred out Navy Mom when she sat there and told us her son graduated from the Navy. They said that, her son was in the Navy. He graduated and that's why he couldn't come to the wedding because he didn't have any leave. Never been in the military. Don't know how the military works. So I can't speak to whether, I can't speak to that, okay. He wasn't there. Her behavior regarding her marriage is a yellow flag to me. It just is for me. But again, everybody's relationship is different and everybody handles their relationship differently. So going into this episode from Friday night, the first part of the episode, 99.9% of this episode was the wedding. And I'm going to be honest with you. Let's be clear. I don't hate Tawanda because I don't know her personally to hate her. I'm happy for you, girl. I am happy that you had your fairy tale wedding. I am happy that you waited your whole life to get married because you had never had a wedding. You just went to the courthouse the first time. I am glad that you had all of those things. So let me talk about a few of the highlights, okay? Because this was pretty much the majority of the episode. Number one, I have a huge problem with Tony's stylist trying to put her son in something other than the colors for the wedding. I find that to be tacky. Tony is literally telling her stylist, no, these are the colors. And he was like, well, let's try this. No. See, that's how people be getting cussed out. Y'all want to call people bridezillas because they get mad because y'all don't follow their directions. She was very specific in her color pattern, and she was very specific in what she wanted the groomsman or the junior groomsman or whatever his role was to play. Why is this man trying to put him in something that she told y'all not to wear? Here's the reality of the situation. She is the bride, and the bride is right. This is not the time to get creative. This is not the time to color outside the lines. I'm sorry. I felt that to be, I honestly felt that to be tacky. Why would you even suggest that? But okay. Why not show that positive Navy? What production may not have wanted to go through whatever hoops they needed to go through to film it. I don't know. Because we didn't have any footage from Howard's graduation either. We saw Tony there, but we didn't have, did we? Maybe we did. Shit, I don't remember. Maybe we did. But maybe they weren't able to get there. I don't know. But anyway, so we saw them do the what else happened? I'm trying to think of the rehearsal dinner. I do have something I want to say, and I'm being very serious when I say this, and I don't want nobody to think I'm coming for kids, because I am not. But as somebody who deals with kids every day, this is coming from the perspective of somebody who deals with kids every day, okay? If y'all are not already aware, and I'm talking directly to you, Miss Tawanda Braxton, if you are not already aware, if this is something that is not already on your agenda, and it may very well be, but if this is something that is not already on your radar, you need to pay attention to your baby girl. You need to pay attention to your baby girl. And I don't mean that in a mean way at all. I really don't. I see something. I don't want to speak on it, but I see something there. And baby, I need you. I need you to pay attention. If you're not already. If she's not already on the radar, if it's not already on your radar, that's just my 2 cents. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not talking about your child. The form said, baby, their form, baby, you got to read between the lines. Because I don't want to, I'm not diagnosing anybody's child. I'm not putting anything on anybody's child. I just see something. Let me just throw a couple of things out, and for the people who are not hearing what I'm saying or understanding what I'm saying. Her lack of eye contact, her baseline reaction to everything throughout this whole experience, we have seen no emotion out of that young lady. The most emotion we saw out of her was when they were at Tulum and she was getting ready to zip line and she was scared. We saw the emotion on her face that she was scared. But even then, she didn't give a lot. She didn't give a lot of articulation. Her wearing the sunglasses, her wearing her face, covering her eyes. Her hair covering her eyes. It's just little things. And again, I am not diagnosing anything. I am just saying I saw some stuff throughout this season that made me kind of just, if it's, and it might be something they're very aware of. Maybe it's something that privately as a family they're dealing with. But the son is in the Navy. The other thing was, I don't like the fact that when they talked about the kids, they referred to those kids as Sean and Tawanda's son, Sean and Tawanda's daughter. Listen, I get it that Sean has been in those kids' life. I understand that Tawanda is divorced, and we don't know where Andre is. I ain't seen nor heard. I don't follow them like that, so I don't know where Andre is, and I don't know how much of a part in these kids' lives Andre has played since the divorce. I don't know any of the answers to those questions. But what I do know is Sean ain't their daddy. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I know some people don't like stepfather and all of that, but I don't like it. Because that's not their father. It's not. Unless he legally adopted them, and we, again, that's not, we don't know. Unless he legally adopted those kids, those are not, he's not their father. Now, I understand you probably wanted to show respect to Sean because he's been in their life for the last however many years as a father figure, but anyway, moving right along. That's just my 2 cents on that. So that was pretty much the rehearsal dinner. So the next day is the wedding. Baby, they told them people not to park in them parking spaces, and Tawanda showed up at that wedding and didn't have nowhere to park. I was with her on that one. Move that car. We told y'all not to park there. They showed us the scene where her head tribe, bride, whatever they was calling them women, told them people don't park behind that building, park in the parking lot up yonder. And that man was in her parking space, and I'm with Tawanda. Listen, I don't even think that was Bridezilla. That was just following the fucking instructions. She told you don't park there. Now, anyway, so we went through the wedding. They had a moment for Tracy. Can I say something? And this is going, I don't want this to come off being mean. I really don't want this to come off being mean, but I need to say this. Do y'all think that they overdid it a bit much for Tracy? And I know that's going to sound cold. I know that's going to sound so cold when I say that. And I really don't mean it that way. But all the hummingbirds, they had hummingbirds at the wedding. They had hummingbirds hanging from the chandeliers at the reception. They had hummingbirds in the bouquet. Do y'all think y'all did? You think? And again, y'all, I know that that's their sister and they loved her. I don't question that they love that woman. I don't question it at all. But did it seem a little performative to y'all with all of the hummingbirds? Even at the reception when Sean was like, see, look at the hummingbirds. Look, Tracy's here. Look at the hummingbirds. I just felt like it was a little performative. And I know that's mean. I know somebody gonna be like, that's their sister. They love their sister. I got it. But okay, that's it. I'm gonna say that and I'm moving on. I'm gonna move on. So we get to the wedding. The wedding's beautiful. Yeah. And I know some of y'all didn't like the wedding. Look, this is what I've learned. This is what I've learned about weddings. I've been in enough of weddings and I've been to enough weddings. This is how I feel about it. Whatever you like. I feel like the lady on Coming to America. Whatever you like. Baby, whatever you like. Baby, if you want chocolate and lavender for your wedding, if you want everybody to wear a different dress, if you want the women to come down the aisle unaccompanied, if you want 20 roses and baby, whatever you want, this your wedding. You the one that's got to look back on it and remember it. Whatever you like. I don't even care. I done been to so many weddings, okay? And I've attended so many weddings. Child, whatever you want. The dress was ugly. Her and her daughters don't. Now, I did like Tawanda's dress. I did not like her daughter's dress, but I will say her daughter designed her own dress. So I'm not going to say too much about it because her daughter designed it and it was hers and it was what she wanted. So I'm gonna let her have it. But I liked Tawanda's dress. I mean, I did. I thought it looked nice on her. I did. I understand that Tawanda is embracing the alopecia of it all, but I wish she had some hair. I just do. I wish she had some hair, but moving right along. It's bad when the bride is bald and the groom got on a wig. I mean, what you gonna do? Okay. Well, while we're at the wedding, Vaughn has to leave the wedding and go to the emergency room because his potassium levels are up. He was told to go that morning, but he didn't want to ruin the day for everybody involved. Listen, Vaughn, your heart is in the right place, but it was stupid. Like, I understand what you said, but just like your doctor told you later on, so you didn't want to ruin the day. What if you had dropped dead in the middle of the wedding? What if you collapsed? Not even just dropped dead. What if you had collapsed in the middle of the wedding and they had to call the ambulance? And like, again, sir, we understand, but no, I'm not going to give you no. There's no explanation. Well, it was a Bridgerton theme. I don't know. I think the pillow, I don't know. I thought the cake was pretty though. I mean, why was a pillow? I don't know. But I thought it was a pretty cake. So the whole wedding, it was, where's Vaughn? Where's Trina? Where's Trina? Where's Trina? Where's Trina? And then Tony finally tells Tawanda, and Tawanda was like, y'all could have told me that a long time ago. Like, I would have stopped asking about her. Something that, and so something else that happened at the wedding, and then we're going to get to the retreat. And if y'all think anything that I missed, go on to drop it in the chat. Because, I thought it was very interesting when we got to the end of the wedding and Tony was like, see, I stayed to the end. See, I stayed. And the fact that everybody was shocked that Tony actually stayed at that wedding to the reception and throughout the majority of the reception, it just further put an exclamation point on the fact that Tony don't fuck with y'all. Because why is that a kudo? Why is it a kudo that you stayed for the entire wedding? It's your sister's wedding. You were in the fucking wedding. Why is that a kudo? Am I the only one that was like, huh? Like, he really said it like, I mean, they really were like, I stayed. I said, Tony don't fuck with these women. When she don't have to be around, Tony is not. It just further put an exclamation point on it for me that when she don't have to be around, she not. What we also found out is that Tony and Tamar have been speaking and have been hanging out. She talked about how she went out to eat with Tamar and the boys, and they talked about, that was the whole retreat of it all. And I was like, see, I've been telling y'all, Tamar and Tony, they really do fuck with each other. Now, do they fall out and fight? Yes, they fall out like sisters, they fight like sisters, but they really do fuck with each other. And then Trina and Tawanda, they are really good. They are really friends in real life. But the four of them as a collective are just sisters. The four of them together are just sisters. Now, within the sisterhood, you have people that are friends for real, but they're just sisters. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. She's a Libra. She definitely doesn't mess with them like that. Right. She just does not. Oh, yeah. I didn't say Tony wasn't problematic. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Tony has her shit with her. Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with no lupus. Tony just don't fuck with them. I mean, listen, I keep telling y'all it's okay. Like, at this point in my life, I truly am okay with family that ain't friends. I mean, I know we like to build on the Black family, and we got to come together, and we got to be this, and we got to be that. But the reality of the situation is, your family ain't always going to be friends. And sometimes your friends are closer to you than your family. And that's just real talk. That's just real talk. So part 2 of the finale on Friday was the ladies actually going and having their retreat. So they go to Malibu. And again, if I missed something y'all want me to talk about, drop it in the chat, because that's pretty much all I got out of that. They went to Malibu for the weekend. Tawanda wasn't there because she was on her honeymoon, but let's be clear, Tawanda probably wouldn't have came anyway. Let's just be honest. Tawanda wouldn't have come anyway. Okay. Trina, Tamar, Tony. So Trina and Tamar got there first because, of course, we always have to wait on Tony. Tony's always late. And it seems as though they were outside and that was a beautiful view. I'm about to go sideways. My niece is here. I'm about to, and so she gonna feel me, but I feel like she gonna feel what I'm saying. When I tell you that I love the idea of renting a really, 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 really nice house and just having some friends and just being in that house, having a good time, playing, hanging out at the pool, hanging out poolside, cooking, eating, playing games, chilling, relaxing, doing nothing, doing something all at the same time. Listen, I loved it. And I love that. I mean, that's what I did for my birthday. And I can't wait to do it again. Like, I can't wait to rent a house for a week and just invite some friends and just fucking have a good time. It was the best trip ever. Like, I loved it. And when I saw that and I saw that house, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this house. Like, that house was gorgeous. Like, I could have stayed at that house for a week. It was gorgeous. Anyway, so Tony is a Libra like me. We are known to be introverted, type of individuals. We want peace, quiet, and harmony. That includes family functions too. We make an appearance and then we leave. Look, I'm a Cancer and I'll do that. I will do a drive-by in a minute. And even when I was younger, I would do a drive-by. It was so funny. It used to be on Thanksgiving and on Christmas, baby, I would hit 4 or 5 houses before I came home. I mean, obviously I started at my mama's house, but I would hit 3, 4 houses, but I'm driving by. Hey, girl. Hey, how y'all doing? Oh, give me some hugs. Oh, okay. I got a gift for you. Oh, you got a gift for me? Oh, let me get a plate, baby. And I would be home. Now I just don't do all the drive-bys, but I'm still. Anyway, so Tony shows up and they eat dinner. Tamar brings a blow-up doll that's supposed to represent Tawanda. The sisters thought it was funny. They said that's the kind of stuff they used to do. It was great to laugh. Tony Braxton be trying so hard to be bougie. She tries so hard to be bougie. Tony, girl, why are you eating that biscuit with a knife and a fork? Talking about I didn't want to get my nails dirty. How are you getting your nails dirty eating a biscuit? Like, it irritates me when I see people eat pizza with a knife and a fork. But a biscuit, Tony, stop. Girl, sit down somewhere. So the sisters started talking. And Tamar asked how the wedding was. So they said, and it was like, as soon as she asked about the wedding, it was like, it seemed like it got tense. It was like the elephant in the room. But I don't think Tamar asked to be shady. I think Tamar was like, look, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Y'all know I was uninvited. How did the wedding go? So then they were like, well, have you talked to Tawanda? And they were like, no, we haven't talked to Tawanda. No, she was like, how long they gonna be on their honeymoon? Well, Trina and Tony were like, I don't know. And Tamar was like, y'all ain't talked to Tawanda? And Trina was like, no, like really, she is literally on her honeymoon. She ain't talking to nobody. She doing her own thing. Like, we really don't know. And then somehow it came up, about Trina's high blood pressure, because Tamar said something along the lines of being stressed out and it affecting your health, and she said something about Trina's high blood pressure, and Trina was like, that's not why I have high blood pressure. And Tamar was like, isn't that what you told me? Like, you literally told me. And what she was saying was, girl, you said it on camera. She was like, did I say something? Oh, before that, they brought up Tony being married to Birdman. And Trina was like, we talking about that on camera? And Tony was like, no. And she was like, I prefer not to speak on my personal life. And that's why I said, if you don't want to talk about your personal life, girl, you don't need to do a reality show. And I know people are like, well, just because you're on a reality show, you don't have to tell us everything. That is the whole purpose of a reality show, is to give us your reality. Now, do things happen on a reality show that people don't share? Obviously, we know that. Yes, that happens. But let's not sit here and act like it's not expected for somebody on a reality show to talk about who they're dating Like we get on Giselle about it all the time on Potomac. So why is it any different for Toni Braxton? Especially when it's something this high profile that people are already speculating about. She could have cleared up whatever she wanted to clear up in that moment and said, listen, I know the tabloids said that we were married, child. We ain't married. Or yeah, the tabloids kind of put it out there that we were married, child. Yeah, we got married, but you know, we just choose to be private about it. Like you could have said a lot. You could have said a lot. So then the whole thing about Trina's health and Trina and Tamar was like, I ain't put that out there about Birdman. Like, listen, I wasn't the one that told everybody. It was already out there. And then I just sort of kind of, you know, she did sort of kind of confirm it. Then Trina gets an attitude like she said something to Tamar in confidence. Tamar was like, girl, you said it outside. Here's the reality. The cameras were there. You don't know what production is or isn't going to use. So if you said on camera, if you said while the cameras were there, yes, my high blood pressure has gone up because of all of the stress. And here's how we know you said it on camera, because production rolled the beautiful bean footage. So if you said it on camera, why are you getting an attitude with Tamar now about bringing it up on camera? Girl, you said it on camera. And y'all, and in the way in which Tamar brought it up, I thought was a respectful way, because she brought it up like, listen, these are the types of things that are going to kill us because we allow it to affect our health. So then Trina was like, well, no, there are other reasons why. And no, I don't want, we'll talk about that off camera. But then you got an attitude with Tamar like she brought something up. Now, on the flip side, Tamar, the way you interpreted Trina's response is not what Trina said. Because you were like, you made it seem like Trina was like, and why are you bringing that up? And that's not what Trina said. Trina was like, why would you bring that up? Why would you say that? She didn't say it with all of that extra, right? She didn't say it with all of that, sorry. She didn't say it with all that, right? And so I think that scene was a perfect example of how their sisterhood breaks down, how their communication breaks down, because Trina did not say it in the way in which Tamar heard it, but also Trina being upset that Tamar brought it up was crazy to me, because you said it on camera. If they didn't have footage of it, then I'd be like, well, clearly that wasn't said on camera. But you don't know what's going to be used and what's not. So anything that is said on camera is liable to be used. And Trina, if we go back to episode 1 or 2, when you first started talking about Vaughn getting sick, you said on camera yourself that you have high blood pressure too. So it's not the first time we heard it. I just didn't understand the response. Let me see what Phil said. Y'all know me and Phil, we hit or miss. Some days we agree and some days we don't. Trina mad at Tamar because she physically attacks her. Anything you say about me is going to piss me off. Okay, we're going to get to that. But I hear you. I hear you, Phil. We're going to get to that. And y'all probably going to be mad at me when we get to that, but we're going to get to that. So that was sort of how that dinner sort of ended a little tense. So the next day they do a sound bath and Trina's not with it. Trina said, look, I don't do the crystals and I don't do all of the gongs and all of that. Like it don't sit right in my spirituality. And so I'm going to be here, but I am not going to fully participate because it does not sit right in my spirit. This is what I'm going to say. Whatever, I can't tell nobody how to feel right in their spirit, and in their spiritual journey. If that does not sit right, you can explain to somebody all day long that a sound bath don't have nothing to do with your spirituality. But if I'm telling you, I'm willing to sit in the room because I'm trying to be a team player, but I do not want to participate, it just is what it is. Now, do I think that Trina was being real extra? Because there was clearly nothing there, in my opinion. In my opinion, there was clearly nothing there. But girl, I can't tell nobody else how to feel when they talk about their spirituality. I mean, who the hell am I gonna tell about their spirituality? But even Tony was like, well, maybe you should have maybe just had a conversation with the lady leading the sound bath and asked her some questions so that you could feel comfortable. Which I agree. That's probably what they should have done. But anyway, Trina and Vaughn in the kitchen frying everything and drinking too much alcohol is part of the reason why they have health issues. Well, Tamar pissed me off. I hated the explanation she gave to the woman about Trina. I think anything Tamar does is going to piss you off, Phil. Trina, too much tequila. Not if she would cuss his ass out instead of accepting that mess. She should have normal blood pressure. Okay. All right. So that was pretty much what happened with that. So then we get to another dinner. And here's where it got a little deep. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so Trina eating like Vaughn, drinking heavily, trying to deal with his overbearing personality and not because. Okay, Nisa, we get it. She need to cuss him out. Okay. All right, so we get to the dinner. Now I'm gonna just cut through the bullshit. I don't. Okay. They get to the conversation about what happened at that original dinner. So first of all, here's what we find out. Now that everybody is calmer. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody, Tamar, because Tamar was the one that came in on 20. So now that Tamar is calmer, what we found out is, yes, Tamar knew who sent the cease and desist, which we've already established that Tamar knew it was the brother. She absolutely knew it was the brother. But Tamar, in my opinion, had some misplaced, it's okay, boo, had some misplaced anger because of who sent the cease and desist. Not the brother, but the attorney. And what she said was, in my mind, because this is talking to Tony, because this is one of your best friends that you talk to every day. And Trina, this is because it's a friend of yours that you know that even though it came from Michael, they never said his name, but we know it came from Michael. Even though it came from Michael, I felt like you guys were a part of it because I know how close y'all are to him. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm saying that is what she explained, right? And she did end up apologizing to Tony. But what we also found out is she wasn't saying that Tony never had her back. She was saying that Tony didn't have her back in this situation because she had talked to Tony about Ashley and having Ashley on her podcast, and Tony was okay with it. And so her thing was, you didn't agree with me. You didn't have my back in this moment because when me and you talked about it privately, you were cool with it. And next thing I know, I'm getting a cease and desist. Now, listen, I'm giving y'all the explanation as I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with Tamar. Like I said, it was misplaced anger. You're going to be mad at me because I know the person that sent you a cease and desist. That's bullshit. I agree 100%. Tamar, that's bullshit. But what I'm saying is in that moment, Tamar is explaining why she felt the way she felt. We don't have to agree with it. We don't have to understand it. But this was why she was mad at her sisters because she felt like, I know it came from Michael. I know whose name was on it. But I also know y'all cool with this dude and ain't nobody give me a heads up. Nobody called me and said, hey, Michael asked me for some legal information. I think he has an issue with Ashley coming on your show. Her thing was, ain't nobody give me a heads up. Ain't nobody say, Tamar, girl, you need to call Michael. He's upset. He's pissed off about this situation. You need to talk to Michael. Nobody did that. And that's why she said, look, I felt like it was a gang up on me because not only did y'all know about it, ain't nobody say nothing to me about it. You just let me get served. You just let me get paperwork. I understand the anger. I'm not saying I agree with it. I understand it though. Because I would feel the same way if my whole family knew I was getting ready to get served. Ain't nobody say shit to me. Ain't nobody give me nothing. Nobody gave me a heads up. Nobody called me. Nobody said, hey, girl, hey. I would feel some kind of way about that too. And I understand why she was upset with Tamar. I mean, why she was upset with Tony saying, look, girl, me and you talked about this. You was cool with it. Now you're not cool no more. You didn't say nothing. Now, again, it's Tamar. So Tamar, her reaction is on 20. And she said that. She cussed out the group chat. So early on this season, when Tamar said she asked the group chat and nobody responded, you ain't tell us that you cussed them out and told them don't speak to you ever again and don't ever say your name and F you and F the family. You ain't tell us you put all that in the group chat. Tamar wouldn't have responded to your ass either. So when you were like, I asked the group chat and everybody went radio silent, nobody said nothing. Well, you ain't tell us the rest of what you said in the group chat, Tamar. You told them women don't speak to you again, so they didn't. Sound like you got what you asked for to me. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lauren. Check out Carlos King and Blue. I like her. So then they talked about, Tamar said, Tony, did you give the lawyer my address, my information? And Tony said no. She asked Trina. Girl, Trina gave that man her information. So again, Tamar ain't crazy all the time. Now, Tamar's reaction is ridiculous. And again, like I said, sometimes Tamar's message gets lost in how she delivers the message. But Tamar ain't crazy all the time. When Tamar said, y'all sent that man to my house, y'all gave that man my information, y'all did. Y'all did. I thought she gave her brother the lawyer's information. No, she gave the brother or the lawyer Tamar's information. Trina gave the address to Michael, right? Trina gave the address to Michael, so Michael could serve her with the cease and desist. I thought Trina said she gave the brother the attorney's info because he asked her for it. I don't believe she gave them Tamar's address. That's what I thought I heard. I could have heard it wrong. I know she said the information because she said that, yeah, she was like, that's my friend, but I could have heard it wrong. But anyway, okay, we can take that part out. But again, y'all knew about the cease and desist, and ain't nobody say nothing to Tamar. I thought that's what I heard. I could have heard it wrong. Right. Tony didn't, and I believe Tony didn't know, but Trina knew. I believe that Tony didn't know about the cease and desist, but Trina did. Now, Before I get to this last part about who hit who, because I know y'all gonna be mad at me when we get to that. Let me say this. They didn't speak on that, Kim. I don't know if Tamar reached out to Michael or not. They didn't speak on it. I don't know what kind of a relationship Tamar has with Michael, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I'm going to say this. I think this retreat was a lost opportunity. I think that this would have been a great opportunity for them to invite Ashley. I think if the sisters really want to do some work and really want to heal and really want to move past some stuff, I think this would have been a perfect opportunity for them to invite Ashley. And for Ashley, even if it wasn't on camera, you didn't have to put it on camera, but for Ashley and Trina to sit down and have a conversation. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality. I 100% feel like Trina was wrong in how she handled the situation with Ashley. Full stop. Full stop. But I also feel like Trina, we already saw how much of a fool Trina was for Gabe. We saw it. We saw it in real time. We saw it on the show. We saw how much she put up with from Gabe. She was damn near mentally abused in that relationship with Gabe. We saw it. And I feel like if Trina, again, it did not have to be on camera, but if Trina had sat down with Ashley and said, I hear you. I acknowledge your experience and I apologize for the part I played in it. Baby, I think they could move forward. Because the reality is Gabe isn't here anymore. So it can't really go much further than that. But you clearly know that something went down. And you clearly know that Ashley was talking about you and Gabe because you've acknowledged that it was about you and Gabe. So you know what she's talking about because it could have been any of y'all. The fact that you said that you're acknowledging that you know it was that Gabe was the culprit, you're acknowledging that. And it could have easily have been somebody else. So you're acknowledging that it was Gabe. You could have sat down and said, look, this is where I was in that moment. I handled it wrong. I could have handled it differently. I acknowledge your experience. See, sometimes we just need acknowledgement. We don't even need an apology. I just need you to acknowledge that I'm not crazy. I need you to acknowledge that I didn't lie. I need you to acknowledge that I didn't make this up. That's what I need you to acknowledge. Somebody says she might not be sorry. She didn't have to apologize. She could acknowledge Ashley's experience. She doesn't have to apologize. Now, maybe Ashley wants an apology, but what I'm saying is Trina don't even want to acknowledge the experience. And the reality of the situation is, I think this was a missed opportunity that I think they could have invited Ashley and the three of them could have sat down, four of them, could have sat down and had the conversation. Did it have to be on camera? No. I mean, as a viewer, would I have loved to see the resolve? Sure. But as a family, did they need to put that on camera? No. But I feel like they could have invited Ashley and they could have had the conversation. That's just my 2 cents on that. Right. And I'm sure Michael and his wife sent screenshots of the text exchange between, they told her about it. I don't understand why Trina keeps acting like that's not what happened. So let's get to the who hit who of it all. Before y'all cuss me out, I need y'all to hear me out. I need y'all to hear the whole thing I'm getting ready to say. I need y'all to hear the whole thing. Phil, you heard me? I need you to hear the whole thing before you drop down and you tell me tell me I'm wrong. I need you to hear me out. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to hear me out? Okay. Trina You put your hands on Tamar. Did you slap Tamar? No. Did you punch Tamar? No. Did you fight Tamar? No. Did you put your hands on Tamar? Yes. Tamar, your response was over the top. You pulling her hair, you kicking her, wrong. Wrong. Full stop. On both statements I just made. Full stop. Trina, you put your hands on her. The video footage shows you put your hands on her. You don't get to move the goalpost because you feel like she's playing word games. No. What Tamar said was, you put your hands on me first. You did. You absolutely put your hands on her first. You don't get to move the goalpost because you said, well, I didn't hit you. I wasn't fighting you. You know that's not, like, you're being disingenuous in your words. No, she's being literal in her words. Literally, she said you put your hands on her first, and you did. Now, was Tamar's response unequal? Yes. Her pulling your hair and her kicking you, wrong. It was wrong. But once again, I think what Trina said once again shows how they feel about Tamar. Because what did Trina say? Well, you were getting in Tony's face and I was trying to pull Tony away. Tony jumped up in Tamar's face first. You didn't jump up to pull Tony away when Tony jumped up in Tamar's face. And when Tamar brought that up, Tony even said, no, I got up first. No, I got in her face first. And then Trina had to sort of, well, I was just trying to separate y'all. But again, your first instinct was to protect Tony. You didn't give a fuck when Tony jumped up and got in Tamar's face. But when Tamar stood up and gave the same energy to Tony, now all of a sudden, oh no, oh no. And once again, it was about Tony. It was about Tony. Now, yes, oh, absolutely. Tamar apologized to Tony. Tony apologized to Tamar. But Trina wouldn't acknowledge that she put her hands on Tamar, so they couldn't move forward until Tamar apologized first. Tamar apologized to Trina, and I loved how Tamar said it. Tamar said, well, then I apologize for kicking you. I apologize for pulling your hair. Now what? And then Trina had no choice but to apologize then. But up until that point, you wouldn't even acknowledge that you put your hands on her. Because then you wanted to say, well, all I was doing, she knows that it wasn't the same. She knows that it wasn't. No. I disagree then. If we're being literal, the sister didn't send the cease and desist. I said that. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. I said that. And I said that Tamar's response was wrong. I said that. I started off by saying that Tamar was wrong. I said that. Wrong. I do feel like they could have gave her a heads up if they gave a fuck about her. That's how I feel. But her blaming them was wrong. They didn't send the cease and desist. They absolutely did not. It did not come from them. Their name was nowhere on it. I agree 100% with that. But I also feel like, see, again, words mean things. Sorry, I disagree. If two people are fighting, I'm splitting y'all up. If you don't get to attack me because Tony didn't attack Trina. Right. So why didn't you jump up? So why didn't Trina jump up when Tony got in Tamar's face? Tawanda and Trina sat there. When Tony jumped up and got in Tamar's face, neither one of them moved. It wasn't until Tamar stood up. Now all of a sudden, oh no. And I know we're not going to agree, Phil, and that's okay, but that's how I feel. I'm not jumping in the middle of a fight. Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Trina was wrong for doing it. I am saying that you did push Tamar. That's it. That's all. I'm not even saying you were wrong for doing it. I'm saying you did it. And for you to sit here and say you didn't do it and then say, well, you know it wasn't the same thing as what you did to me. You're right, but that doesn't change what you did. You still put your hands on her first. Was her response equal? No. But it just irritates me because to me, it's now you playing in my face. I am showing you the footage of you putting your hands on me, and rather than say, okay, I did put my hands on you first, but you know good and damn well, you won't even acknowledge that you put your hands on me. You want to play in my face and you're not seeing do a Jedi mind trick. This argument it's not flying to you. It don't have to fly. That's why I said, I know y'all not going to agree with me, but that's how I feel. And that's it. That's it. And that's all. That's it. And that's all. Y'all don't have to agree with it. That's fine. But again, you change it. Adding more to it doesn't change my statement. You're saying she actually touched Tony more. Then you're acknowledging that she touched Tamar. Then you're acknowledging that she touched Tamar. If you're saying, well, she actually touched Tony more, then that means that she touched Tamar. That's all Tamar said. All Tamar said was you put your hands on me first, and that's it. Well, I don't understand why that's a problem. Why y'all can't agree with that? Why y'all can't agree with the fact that... Why can't y'all agree that y'all saw the footage and Trina put her hands on Tamar first? Why is that so hard to acknowledge? Now, y'all can say, well, it wasn't the same. Y'all can say she didn't mean no harm. Y'all can say she was trying to break up the fight, but it doesn't change the fact that she did it. She did it. Right. And Tamar apologized. No, she's not. She never said Trina attacked her. Show me where she said Trina attacked her. She never said it. What she said was Trina put her hands on me first. That's what she said. She never said Trina attacked her. She didn't even say Trina punched her. She said Trina put her hands on me first. That's it. And I don't understand why that's so hard for people to acknowledge. Y'all just don't like Tamar. I don't understand why y'all can't acknowledge that is a statement. That is a full statement. Trina put her hands on me first, period. That is a statement. Now y'all can explain away why. Y'all can give me all of the buts to it, but you have to first acknowledge that it happened. That's it. And that's all Tamar was saying. Tamar was like, you're going to sit here and tell me you didn't put your hands on me first. And it's literally right there on the video. And then when they see the video, now they want to move the goalpost. See, that's what pisses me off. We can acknowledge that Tamar overreacted to it, but we got to first acknowledge that it happened. But it's all good. I know some people just can't get past how they personally feel about Tamar, and that's fine. But again, it might sound like splitting hairs to y'all, but what I'm saying is when someone is saying to you, you did this to me, and you won't even acknowledge that you did it, how do we move further? How do we go any further than that? I'm my pressure, child, y'all know I ain't running my pressure up over this. I'm good. But how do we move further? Why do we move it further? I just don't get it. But it's all good. Like I said, it's the last episode, child. I'm done with these Braxton sisters. I'm done with these Braxton sisters, child. I'm done with them. But what I can say is, at least as far as that was concerned, there was some resolve. They apologized to each other. Tamar apologized. Trina apologized. They ended with a laugh. The reality, in my opinion, this is my opinion. In my opinion, they just need to live their best life and move on with their lives. I think Tony and Tamar are friends in real life. They fuck with each other in real life. They probably fall out. They get mad at each other like sisters do. And then a few weeks later, hey, girl, what you doing? You want to go to lunch? I think that Tawanda and Trina are friends in real life. I think they really, truly have a sisterhood, a friendship in real life. And I think that's just the way it is. When it comes to their mother, they'll come together and do what has to be done when it comes to their mother. When it comes to their father, I don't know, that's questionable. But when it comes to but I think at the end of the day, they'll be there for each other in a sisterly way when it needs to be done. But as far as this day-to-day, we friends, we hanging out, we clinking glasses, we going to lunch, we going on vacations. That's just not that's not their relationship. That's just not their relationship. Listen, I love my sister down. Do you hear me? I love my sister down. If I got it, she got it. We'll do anything for her. Okay? Full stop. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts to that. But me and my sister we don't hang out like that. When my sister wants to go out and have drinks, she don't call me. When I want to go out and have drinks, I don't call her. And it's not because I don't love her. We just have different friends. Now, do we have friends in common? We do. And there are things that we do together. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were all hanging out together at the Halloween party because it was all of our neighborhood friends and we were all there together. Cool. Next week, I'm going to see Wicked. It's going to be me, my sister, my mama, my aunt, and my cousin. Yeah, we're going to do stuff together. But on a regular basis, no. Hell, my sister used to live with me. My sister has lived with me. And we see each other. Hey, girl, what's going on? And we'll talk for hours. But when she get ready to get up and go out, now when it's her birthday or something, she'll say, hey, we're going out for my birthday. Okay, I'll be there. But, and it's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with that. I talk to my sister regularly on the phone. I see my sister regularly. But as far as us hanging out, being best friends, she is not my best friend and I'm not her best friend. When she got married, she had one bridesmaid. Her husband had one groomsman and she had one bridesmaid. Child, she got married during COVID, okay? Baby, I wasn't the one she chose. She chose her best friend. See what I'm saying? And it's okay. And I just think that's what these sisters are. They're not friends in real life. And it's okay. At least to me it is. Maybe other people don't agree. But to me, it's okay. But anyway, y'all, give me it's 2:00. Well, for all intents and purposes, it's 2:00. Give me about an hour. We're going to be live on my main channel, do a little celebrity news. We're going to talk about Candy and Todd and some other things that we got going on in the news. We're going to be over there. So give me about an hour to be over on the other side. I'm hearing that Bell Collective just wasn't that deep. So I'm going to try to watch Bell Collective and y'all might get that review today because I heard that it might even take me about 15, 20 minutes for all that was in that reunion. And it's a one and done. So we're done with Bell Collective. So we're done with the Braxtons. We're done with Bell Collective. So tonight, you guys know y'all are going to get the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Give the link for my main channel. Cajun, can you do me a favor? No, I'm not starting over. Cajun, hey boo, can you do me a favor, Cajun? Can you grab my link for my main channel, ReallyBTV, and put it in the chat? Because there's some people that need that channel too. What did I say, child? Did I say Beverly Hills or something? Anyway, the Real Housewives of Potomac. Thank you, Cajun. There it is right there. That's the link, you guys. The Real Housewives of Potomac is tonight at 9:15. Y'all might get Bell Collective because again, once I watch it, I might go ahead and do Bell Collective. And then I think we're caught up. I did Ready to Love this morning already. So then I think we might be caught up. If I do Bell Collective, we caught up, right? I did Salt Lake City last night. I'm trying to Love and Marriage. Oh shit. All right, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know when y'all gonna get that, but we'll get that. So I have Love and Marriage Huntsville and Bell Collective. Okay. And then Married to Medicine starts December. or next weekend. I think Married to Medicine starts November the 30th. Am I right or wrong? And then Beverly Hills starts in December. So yeah, y'all, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Love and Marriage Huntsville was good. So maybe, should I do Love and Marriage Huntsville first, Chuck, and then Bell Collective? All right, y'all. So give me about an hour. I'll see y'all at 3 o'clock over on Really Be TV. If you don't know the channel, just type in Really Be TV and you should find it. This is Really Be TV reviews. So it's just regular Really Be TV and it should pop right up. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. And look, we disagree, but I love y'all for real. I do. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.